As the days quietly drifted by, the heavy tension that once filled the air slowly melted into something warmer, something gentler. We return to a peaceful moment inside the house, where Moan's mother turns back with a radiant, almost glowing smile. Her voice carries a soft excitement as she asks a simple question: does Rasser like sweets? A quiet celebration. A miracle had happened. Rasser had survived. And so, without needing to say much more, everyone agrees today calls for something special. A cake. And we find Rasser sitting there, her posture small, her voice even smaller. With a shy, hesitant tone, she admits that she likes sweets. That one soft confession is enough. Right beside her, Moan bursts with pure, uncontrollable joy. Her happiness overflows as she fusses over Rasser, gently fixing her hair, unable to hide just how much she cares. Rasser, now dressed in clean and proper clothes, looks like a completely different person, no longer the fragile girl on the brink, but someone slowly returning to life. But not everyone shares in that calm. The apothecary, his voice heavy and exhausted, offers to help with the preparations. Yet before he can even take a step, Moan's mother suddenly forces him down into a chair with surprising strength. He lets out a pained grunt, clearly caught off guard. Even Rasser reacts in surprise. Her tone changes, firm, serious. She tells him what no one else had the courage to say. He needs to rest. It had been days since the apothecary last slept, days of pushing himself beyond his limits, fighting, searching, healing, all for Rasser. Even Moan joins in, her tone unusually sharp, almost like an angry little cat, pointing out the deep, dark circles under his eyes. The apothecary, half in disbelief, asks if he really looks that bad. Their answer comes instantly: yes. For the first time, it becomes undeniable. His body is at its breaking point. All the battles, all the sleepless nights, they've taken their toll. Moan's mother gently places a warm cup of tea into his hands, steam rising softly into the air. Her voice softens again as she reminds him that even he doesn't have to carry everything alone. Everyone needs help sometimes, and if Rasser had fallen, they wouldn't know what to do. So what would happen if he did? Those words hit deeper than any wound. The apothecary lowers his gaze, quietly taking the cup. With a faint, grateful smile, he thanks her for always being there when he needed it most. Finally, he allows himself to rest. As the warmth of the tea spreads through him, his eyes drift towards Rasser. She looks better. Alive. The color has returned to her face, and little by little the innocent girl she once was is beginning to reappear. And when she smiles, it leaves a deep mark on his heart. All his pain, all his sacrifices, they meant something. And slowly, as peace settles in, the apothecary closes his eyes. But rest doesn't come quietly. A memory breaks through. A young boy running desperately, clutching something tightly to his chest. His breathing is ragged, panicked, until suddenly, a rough hand grabs him. He's thrown to the ground. Two grown men loom over him, their faces twisted with anger as their fists come crashing down again and again. They shout at him, mocking him, telling him he isn't safe, not even as a child. A kick lands hard in his stomach. The truth becomes clear. He had only stolen a few pieces of bread, and for that, this was his punishment. This wasn't a rare moment. This was his life. The villagers treated him like nothing. Even the other children followed suit, throwing stones at him as if he were nothing more than a target. Bruised, trembling, and barely able to stand, the boy drags himself away, clutching his injured arm. Eventually, he collapses beneath a large tree, hunger gnawing at him as always. Another day without food, another day alone, an orphan with no one to turn to. His empty eyes stare down at the grass, his body on the verge of giving up, until a pair of unfamiliar boots enter his view. Slowly, he looks up and is met with something unexpected. Horns! A towering figure stands before him, a white-haired demon with a powerful build. Yet instead of hostility, his voice is warm, gentle. He asks the boy a simple question. Why is he alone when all the other children are happy? And then, "Are you hungry?" Those words change everything. For the first time in his life, someone reaches out to him, not with cruelty, but with kindness. The demon offers his hand and promises him food. The boy, the one who would one day become the apothecary, doesn't hesitate. Weak, starving, and desperate, he takes it. Moments later, a bowl filled to the brim is placed before him. Without thinking, he devours it, not even stopping to breathe, afraid it might disappear. The demon chuckles softly, telling him to slow down, and with a gentle smile, he asks, "Is it good?" Tears well up in the boy's eyes as he nods. It was more than good. It was everything. The memory fades, and we return to the present. The apothecary opens his eyes. Before him, he sees Moan happily feeding Rasser. Frosting smudges around her mouth as her pointed ears twitch with delight. She smiles brightly, her voice filled with warmth as she declares how sweet and delicious the cake is.
That sight, it feels familiar, like a reflection of something long ago. And in that moment, the apothecary remembers his own smile, the one he gave that demon so many years ago. Tears quietly form in his eyes, because now he understands. Just as someone once saved him, he too had reached out and saved someone else. With a soft, regretful whisper, he admits to himself that he's alive today because someone chose to be kind. Time passes peacefully, laughter filling the room, until suddenly, tap, tap. A crow lands by the window, knocking sharply against the glass. The apothecary immediately notices. He rises and opens it, retrieving the note tied to its leg. Moan's mother calls out, asking if everything is all right. He nods. It's from an old friend. As he reads, his expression shifts. The letter speaks of interest. His friend is willing to help, intrigued by Rasser's condition, though, as expected, he asks for payment, knowing full well the apothecary tends to save money. He exhales softly. Some things never change. But as his gaze drifts back toward Rasser, his decision becomes clear. This step is necessary, because her recovery isn't over yet. And if her condition worsens, if there's no other option, then the unthinkable may become reality. Amputation. And that is a risk he cannot ignore.
And that's where this chapter ends. But the story is far from over. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this recap, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell so you won't miss the next chapter.